Hello my dears, this is Sarah from SheHoldsDearly.com, and this week's a really special week. It is my anniversary week, not for my marriage, not for my business, for the finding of our farmhouse. It's been 9 years, and I just thought we should just take a moment and talk about waiting for your dream house. I actually get a lot of questions about this. This is a common thing that people are dealing with, waiting for their dream house. And even though, you see us here and our house is almost finished and we love it, we're having a great time, there is a whole backstory. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what to do while you're waiting and actually the benefits of waiting. I think that's the most exciting part about this video. All right, so we lived in just a suburban neighborhood, like tract home sort of. I mean, it was cute, but you know what I mean? We had the HOA, we had rules, we were in a cul-de-sac, we had a tiny little yard, and we had our 3 kids. We had all 3 of our kids at that house. And now it's a rental house, cute rental house. But there was just a longing to have land, to have a farm. I grew up on a ranch, so that's always been in my blood. And I wanted my kids to kind of have the freedom to just run around and build forts and have animals and all that. And so we had been looking, and we looked, we used to go on, our date night would be, hey, let's drive around and just see if we can't find some land and dream about it and make an offer. And that was not successful. We tried, I bet we went through 4 different houses, and it wasn't just houses, some of it was land, but full on thought we were gonna get the place, had just, you just get so emotionally attached and you start envisioning your life there, and then it's a huge letdown. And I know you guys, a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about, how emotional it is to be house shopping. And the whole time we were praying about it, we were saving up money, and we're just like, this is before Pinterest, right? So I had a binder, and I would cut out pictures from Better Homes and Garden magazine. I had this whole scrapbook going, and just really thinking about what every room was gonna look like. And so we did that for 9 or 10 years. And finally it just wasn't happening. And so you get kind of jaded and you just stop looking. And that's where we were at. So then one day I'm over at my friend's house, who is now my next door neighbor, and we homeschool. So we were over there, we were having a homeschool history class. So it's the end of the day, I'm loading up the kids, I'm tired, I'm dealing with car seats. So I look over the fence and I see this farmhouse, back of a farmhouse, and the lilacs are in bloom, and they're 100-year-old bushes, as tall as the house, some of them. And it's right in the middle of this 4 acres, and it's not just wooded or anything, it's park-like grass, and then a few large trees in the grass, rolling landscape. And it took my breath away. And it was something out of Anne of Green Gables. Oh. And I asked my friend, who lives in this house? She goes, oh, it's the original owners. They'll never sell. Everybody wants to live there. And it wasn't exactly the original owners, but almost. She was almost right on that. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm used to getting let down with houses and land, right? So then my little girl says, we need to go look at it just for fun, because we love looking at old houses. We did, and I pull into the driveway, and there's a for sale sign. And it was one thing after another after that we crossed over this bridge, and there's a creek, and then we drive through these apple trees, and it opens up into the property, and it's got a circular driveway, and there's beehives and a huge garden area. There's a detached garage with a shop area, and then this totally cute old farmhouse. Clothesline, I was just gone. It was love at first sight. And then we called the realtor. She let us in that night. That was a Friday night. We bought the place on Monday. So Friday, it was the same thing inside. I kept the window seat, and then the wood stove, and then upstairs was this little cute schoolroom, and I was just gone in love with this place. And I guess the only other buyer was a guy who wanted to turn it into a junkyard with old cars. So we had a little bit of an advantage there with the seller, because they wanted a family to take over and love the place, and they were oh yes, somebody who like wants to garden and have chickens, and so we got the place. And it wasn't cute. I mean, it was an old rental, and we had to gut it, and we're still finishing things. But anyway, it just the whole waiting process was eye-opening. Some of the things that we did during those years leading up to finding our place. So one, we prayed a lot about God's will and just for guidance and protection, so we weren't getting into a stupid financial situation, and not making the house like too big of a thing where it was like ruining our lives because we didn't have this house we wanted, because it can get that way. And then we of course were planning, get on Pinterest, get a living room board, bathroom board, kitchen, get the rooms all set up and just build that supply. It will be such a valuable tool for you when you're ready to go. And then save your money. We're big Dave Ramsey fans. We are all for like debt-free living, and so with time you can actually squirrel away more money, and so focus on that. Don't waste the time by not paying attention to this asset that you have of time passing where you can actually save some money. The other thing I would say to work on is your DIY skills. I mean, if that's what you're thinking is like, I want an old farmhouse or I want to redo a house, work on your skills right now. So you're sewing and you're building and you're painting and your design eye and you're thrifting and all that. You can do that no matter where you're at. So use that time well. Okay, there are 3 non-tangible things that you're gonna gain because of the wait. And if you are doing these 4 things that I just mentioned earlier, these are the benefits you're gonna get. Number 1, you are gonna know exactly what it is that you want. If I had gotten any of those houses actually before we actually got our place now, they wouldn't have been half as great. I just didn't know what I wanted yet, So your wish list gets absolutely refined the more time that passes. So by the time I saw this place and I pulled into the driveway and saw 8 different things in front of me, I was like, this is it. This is it. Check, 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 check. All down the wish list. And if I hadn't had the time to develop that, I wouldn't have known it as well. You learn contentment by waiting. There's no other way to do it. That's a character trait that is valuable, and it makes your life rich, and it's something that even when you do get your house, you're still going to need contentment. It still takes a long time to get things done and get them right, and then they start breaking down, and you just have to learn that the perfect house isn't going to satisfy you. So you're being trained as you're waiting, and that's valuable. And then the third thing is that you will be so grateful. You know how it is, when you've had to wait for something, the sadness of not having it and the misery of not having it, it becomes a part of you, and then when you finally get it, that it just intensifies your gratitude. So this house is so much more enjoyable to me because we had to wait for it. I hope that that's encouraging for you guys. It gives you guys something to think about, something to hold on to, something to work towards and work at while you're waiting. And I'd love to hear your stories. Leave me your stories in the comments below and tell me how you found your dream house and the things that you've learned in the process. All right, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, comment, all that stuff I'm supposed to say. And I'll be back with more design advice and just peeks into our vintage home life. All right, take care. I'll talk to you soon. I'm making a lot of noise. I feel like this chair is gonna break. What's wrong with this chair? I'm getting a new chair. Okay, it's starting to rain out here. I'm getting really cold.